Do any of you care how we got here? Or do you just care that we're here? I just care that we're here.
I care that we're here.
I don't give a shit how we got here. I don't. We're here. It's terrible.
The numbers don't really mean anything at this point.
The Montreal Canadiens became the first team in NHL history to cough up multi-goal leads in elimination games and win the both of them. And
That's
the
a cool
Leafs,
stat.
it is a cool stat. You know what's even cooler? The Leafs are on the other end of it again.
Yeah, sorry. You're right.
They're on the... And like game 5 and game 6, you know, you talk about the killer instinct and you talk about you bums just go out there and do it. I saw someone tweet something along the lines of you sad sack piece of garbage. I hate you. Just win. And game 7 isn't even that, because without Jake Muzzin, I don't think you can tell them to just go out and win it, because I'm not entirely convinced they're the better team. And they've gotten worse as the series has gone on. That's probably a bad sign, eh?
Yeah.
Or maybe Montreal's just gotten better.
That's also, we're also afraid to give credit to the team that beats
we should give them
the
credit.
other team.
I'm not.
You know? No, give them the credit they deserve. You know, the Canadiens have played very well.
No. I mean, I'll give them credit, but played very well. They coughed up a 3-0 and 2-0 lead.
But then who won those games?
Montreal.
Yeah, so give them credit for winning those games, because it's not like the Leafs blew it. It's the other team won as well.
The most disrespectful shit I've seen is if the Leafs win game 7, they'll beat the Jets. But if Montreal wins game 7, the Jets will beat the Habs. Listen, I just want to congratulate Winnipeg for reaching the pinnacle of Canadian hockey, going to the third round and ultimately losing, probably if we're following Canadian rules. But when they get there to the promised land, oh my God.
It seems like no one, too, is arguing about whether or not this is the worst of the losses. Like, it's just kind of confirmed that if they lose tomorrow, it's going to be the worst collapse out of all the last collapse in the last 8 years. Because,
James Myrtle.
Yeah, he wrote that article and it was great. He had one piece in there. If the Leafs lose Monday, they'll be the 27th team across North American pro sports. So that's MLB, NHL, and NBA, the 3 sports that have the 7-game series. They'll only be the 27th team to blow a 3-1 lead with home field advantage. So it's a historic loss if they lose.
I also want to throw this out. It has to be historic. It can never not be normal. They can't even, it would have been less historic if they fucking got swept.
Yeah.
Like that's, if they didn't win a game in this series, it would be less historic than what you're talking about.
It would have been easier to take too.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're like, the team's just not good enough. Because they simply are good enough.
Right.
They just won't perform. And you know what's great is that Jason Spezza alone has 3 times as many goals as Marner and Matthews combined.
I really am going to strangle those two. I
don't know what do you say?
Well, and so Marner, throughout the streams, I've been defending him because I'm like, you know what? I think it's Matthews having a hard time getting open. Maybe Marner should shoot it a little bit more, but that line is outscoring the Habs, which is the whole name of the game. They're outscoring them 3-0. The penalty kill has been so good. He's been a big part of that. He's been so good defensively. That line has been so good defensively. And then in the third period, when he took that penalty and the Leafs got scored on the power play, I'm like, so now what do you give me?
Right.
Besides nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bring up the contract unless they lose game 7. But the money means you do not feel bad for these people. Like, you feel bad for them on a human level. You don't want anyone to go through this. They're all still, mortals.
And
you
saw young kids.
Right.
Yeah, and young. You see Matthews that, slamming the boards when the goal goes in. He wasn't even on the ice. Saw Mitch Marner in the box shitting a brick. Oh my God. I gotta find that Marner stat. There was something about he's taken 6 minor penalties in the playoffs ever, and 5 of them are puck over the glass.
So he's just simply not comfortable in the playoffs. Because that's a nervous penalty. If there's ever a penalty that denotes I am nervous, it's that. And the way that like he's playing on his heels, man. There's no other way to describe it.
Here it is from Nick D'Souza. Mitch Marner has 12 career penalty minutes in the playoffs, 6 minor penalties. Here they are. 2018, game 2, puck over glass. 2018, game 6, puck over glass. 2019, game 5, puck over glass. 2020, tripping. 2021, game 1, puck over the glass. 2021, game 6, puck over the glass. What's their record in those games? Off the top of my head, they lost game 2, 2018, pretty sure. Yep, they lost that game. Game 6, I believe they won. Game 5, 2019 against the Bruins, they won. 2020, game 4, they nearly lost 3-0. They ended up coming back, and yes, he was a big part of it. Game 1 this year, they lost. Game 6 this year, they lost.
It's not great. Yeah. The Matthews-Marner tandem, they had 61. They were responsible for 61 goals during the regular season. That's out of the team's 186 goals. So you're up like what percentage of that? You're like 40% of the team's goals. So if you're taking away 40% of a team's goals just in the playoffs, just poof, gone. Now you get 1 out of 6 games. Like that's not good enough.
This is their worst slump of the season.
How do you expect to win?
It's their worst slump of the season, and it's now.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's now for the last 2 years. It's been like about last 2 postseasons.
Well, or they've looked okay. Here's the thing. They give you hope. And then for whatever reason, it's like, you guys did it. We watched you do it. You did this 3 times.
They're shooting 1.6.
3 games.
Like,
why is the 4th one so hard? And why is it so much why is it controversial to say Austin Matthews hasn't looked good?
Because he had like 14 shot attempts last game and he's shooting 3.3%.
But is he looking good?
But he's not looking great.
How many of those shots look dangerous?
Are you afraid of Austin Matthews when you see him out there?
No.
I'm seeing a lot of, the puck's being cycled and, I'm seeing a lot. I'm not seeing Austin Matthews scaring people. William Nylander looks like he scares people. I'm not seeing that. And I don't, I understand the advanced stats. I understand that. I get it. At what fucking point do people understand that the result is the only thing that matters?
That's why it's controversial to say those things, because there's a bunch of numbers that say the opposite thing. But if you just watch the damn game, you see the evidence in front of your eyes that it's just not good.
Maybe you guys are more dialed in than me. I'm not seeing anyone defending them. It's just a fan base that wants you to fucking win.
Yeah. I mean, because really, at the end of the day, there's no logical argument. Yes, we understand the whole, they should have won. The numbers suggest they should have. They didn't fucking win.
Right.
And we're talking about it already as though they're not going to win. No Muzzin, no Tavares. Who Dermott and Sandin are coming off the 2 worst games I've seen either of them play.
And I tell you what.
Gut check time.
That quote. The
Mitch Marner one?
We didn't start on time.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't start on time.
51 minutes. There was 50. You didn't start on time. Okay, we blew the first 20.
I'm going to make a Mark Messier guarantee right now on the podcast. If they don't start on time in Game 7 this year, Mike Babcock is getting fired. Okay? I'm so sick of this excuse from his team. Oh, what? Second consecutive... Maybe if we did a blood test, not starting on time and literally not being able to do this, string together 4 wins out of 7 is part of their DNA. What are we about to find out? So I'll let you.
We're going to find out whether Mitch Marner's a Leaf next year or not, I think.
Literally, yes.
Marner for Eichel starts Monday if they lose.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna be on 31 Thoughts as well, the podcast with Merrick and Friedman.
Oh, cool.
Never heard of it.
When the Leafs have I love supporting smaller shows.
It's good that we can loan our talents to them.
Yeah, I got guys on the up.
Big heart. Yeah. I really believe in those guys. But for the Montreal Canadiens, they're spending a wild amount of money this year. The Leafs built to win now, and heads will roll. No matter who wins or loses. Heads will roll. And I said this before. Matthews Rocket Marner top 5 in scoring. High top end scoring. Good depth scoring this year. And role players who actually know how to play a role when they're not scoring. Defensive depth. Defensive responsibility. Defensive buy-in. Goaltending. Hits. People will actually punch you in the face this year. What would you change?
I don't know.
No, they had everything they needed to win this series, and they're not doing it.
I think what I would change is my superstar scoring.
Yeah.
That's what I would change. I want my stars to score. What do we say? I know everybody's like, well, it's not the NBA. It's got to be a team game. Yeah, but like, let's be honest.
Okay.
If Marner and Matthews, if I told you before this series, it's going to go 7 games, Marner and Matthews are going to have a goal going into game 7, you're going to be like, so it's not going well.
Right. So it's just point blank.
Is what you're saying.
I'd say it's a miracle.
All right. It's a miracle it reached that point. Yeah.
That you have the Rocket Richard winner. He needs to score. That's his role.
Sportsnet stats.
Oh no.
Sportsnet stats. The Leafs' big 3 have struggled in their attempts to close out a playoff series in their career. And I'm not going to yell at Sportsnet stats, but I quibble with their use of big 3. William Nylander, goals 1, points 3, -2, 8 shots on goal, shooting percentage 12.5. Mitch Marner, goals 0, points 1, plus minus -5, shots on goal 13, shooting percentage 0. Austin Matthews, 1 goal, that was his only point, plus minus -4, shots on goal 30. Shooting percentage 3.3. That's hysterical. Now, the big 3, Nylander's got more than both those guys combined. Big 3. I mean, he's a half a point a game player. That's a slight dip. Matthews and Marner have a point each through. And since Marner has 0 goals, Matthews has 1, and that's his only point, I'm going to assume that actually is only 1 goal. I'm going to assume it's Marner setting on Matthews, and it's actually 1 goal. I don't actually know that.
Can also say, too, that if they win on Monday, everything's fine going to the Jets.
It's literally Vegas versus Minnesota. We all look at Vegas and we're like, still strong team.
No, who's questioning Vegas going into the next round? You know, like they're going to put up a fight versus Colorado and it's going to be very close. Like if the Leafs win tomorrow, they can make up for it.
Well, and this have earned this.
This is literally like, it's like turn the nuclear weapon on or off.
Yeah.
It's if you lose, you've turned it on.
Right.
If you win, we all forget about it. We move on.